5, public comment on agendized items. I just want to let you know there's a public video and photography section. We already have someone over there right now. We ask that you can video, but video from your seats or over in that designated area. Do not come up in front of the board and video the speaker. Also, I want to remind you of our norms that we have. So we treat everybody with dignity. We're going to use respectful language, be respectful of all speakers. We're going to try not to cause any disruptions, and we're going to adhere to the time limit, which is 3 minutes. We have 4 speakers that will public comment on agendized items, and I'm going to go ahead and call them up. So the first one is Brad Tobias. I have that you're speaking on D and E. Does that sound right?
Yes.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
Good evening, board, superintendent, and admin staff. Thank you for this time. So for AP, for those, so we're all on the same page, it's under the new policy of discipline. Just real quick, in the 2024-2025 OUSD handbook that was distributed in I believe August to all of us parents, the practice of restorative practices was highlighted on page 14 as a disciplinary measure. Just want to know, just so I know like where my kids are going to, will this new policy replace restorative practices? And if not, can you explain the differences to the public? On the next one, AP, which covers the recognition of religious beliefs and customs. First off, I'd like to say that it's awesome that virtual prayer will not be discouraged and that religion is being added to the conversation, something I've been praying for a while. So I'm glad that it's being done. I believe it's a huge part because of the court case of the football coach in the Supreme Court. I think that's a huge part of it. So religion is often a key identifier for a person. I know for me personally, I'm a Christian, child of God, Jesus my Savior, and I say Merry Christmas. It's a happy holidays. However, there are some questions that I have regarding that I think need to be addressed in the language on this policy right here. The first one is staff members shall be highly sensitive that their obligation not to interfere with the religious development of any student. My question to that one is, does that mean that if a Christian student feels uncomfortable with a pride flag being displayed or other materials being present, that those materials will be removed? Another point on this is in the language says, quote, nor that a preference be shown for one religious viewpoint over another. On the subject of history, mainly U.S. history, there is, our founding was, as a nation, was based on Judeo-Christian values. And with that, is that a religious aspect of the founding fathers going to be removed from the material? If not, or if it is, I feel like it's not giving the full history of our nation and who we are as a country. If it is, hey, it's great, awesome. And I'm glad that the Christian heritage of our nation will be fulfilled and be presented in full spectrum for our students. Thank you. Thank you for that.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Patty Kay. Hello, Patty. I have you speaking on item 6BB. Does that sound right?
That probably sounds right on the scores. Yeah. Okay, so anyway, congratulations, you must be relieved. You voted in, the union voted in 2 members again. And what I mean by that is this is not...
Can you guys pause that, please? I just want to make sure, because this is on agenda items. We have...
I'm on agenda.
Hold on.
Yeah, I'm on agenda.
I'm not accusing you. Can I finish? 6BB
Yes.
is approval of out-of-state field trip Oceanside High School. Is that what you're speaking to?
No.
What?
I looked at the agenda.
Okay. That's what I have marked. So I'm just making sure that we're on the same page as you.
Yeah, it's not, because the agenda, I looked at it, I copied.
You're doing CC then. 6CC?
BB, right?
You ready to go? We'll start again.
Okay, so I'm going to speak on the one.
The item you would like to speak on.
Whatever item it is.
Okay.
Okay, so anyway, you must be relieved. The union got voted in, the two members that they spent the $73,000 allotted for. So it must be relief because you got the members in that will vote for your union raises again. I saw no mention in Ms. Vitale's diatribe on your accomplishments in 8 years of any academic scores.
And we'd like you to stay on topic.
Which brings us to the scores. And so in the last, which was delayed obviously, because they came out earlier after the elections so that everybody would know. Okay, so at Jefferson High, the scores declined again. In English language, 60.35 failed to meet the standards. In math, 72.71 failed to meet the standards. At Chavez Middle School, and it did show over the decline over the last 2 years since 22 in English language and math, declined once again in the last testing score. And in Lincoln, in the English language, 64.29 failed to meet standards, and then in math, 77.43 failed to meet standards. So I guess there's a reason that you campaign from the basement, like a Joe Biden, because you are nowhere in sight when their reforms were present to compete with the other candidates. So basically, let's say it like it is, that was a race won by the unions for the unions, and it wasn't candidate against candidate. I also want to say that Dr. Sparks perhaps better watch his job
Are we
security.
staying on topic because you picked that student plans, school plans for student
Yes,
achievement, and I'm not
exactly.
sure how this fits in.
Wait, hold on.
No, I'm not pausing that.
Okay, I think this does go in with the student plan, which is really a lot of stuff put in there that's hard to decipher, so I quoted the grades, the scores. But I think all we see are the amount of money spent on buildings and DEI, and I think you better watch out for your job security because the way things are going, they're going to eliminate that. Fallbrook had a new superintendent for 1 year, just to let you know, and they achieved 2 state awards already in that 1 year's time on academic achievement. So it can be done, and I hope you all, Eleanor and Mike, will meet with us as we've requested in the past, and on probably a monthly basis would be good. Okay, do you agree to that? No way? No way. Eleanor?
Thank you for your time, Patty. Our next speaker is Emily Richmond. Emily, I just want to make sure for clarity, because I have a few written down for you. So I have 3A, but we already voted on that, so that's done.
Yes, but I still can speak on that.
And then you have 6C, am I correct? And 6B, and then 8D.
6C, what was 6C?
I'm asking you. The warrant list. And then 6BB,
Right, okay.
I'm just making sure before you.
All right. Okay, well, let me start with,
Okay.
with 3A. I congratulate Eleanor for winning with 51% of the vote. We're very close. I'm going to be held accountable because I run against you, and I would like you to be transparent. I'd like to meet with you once a month. And if you'd like to meet in the superintendent's office so you'll feel safe, have whoever you would like in there, another board member. Because let me read the bylaw, the role of the board. The school board has been elected by the community to provide leadership and citizenship oversight of the district. The board shall ensure the district is responsive to the values, beliefs, and priorities of the community. The board will work with the superintendent to fulfill the majority of the major responsibilities, which include several things. Ensuring accountability to the public for the performance of the district's goals. That's another one of your things that you need to be doing. You need to be evaluating the superintendent. You need to be monitoring student achievement and program effectiveness and requiring program changes. So Mike, I mean, these are your duties. This is what you just held up your hand and said that you would do, you know. I'm just sad that we didn't have a lawyer like we used to do when I was on the board. We had an attorney with his robe inducting you, and that was very good. Also, too, you're supposed to be providing community leadership and advocacy on behalf of students, the district's educational programs, the public education in order to build support within the local community and at the state and national levels. That's what you guys just ran. And Mike, you ran 53%. So you were very close, and there's one half that wants that accountability. They want, and I would love to meet with you because I've got several questions. One of the questions were on the award list. You've got several things that, again, I will email you what my questions, and so we can talk about it. And part of that is the money that is spent in transportation for charters, $750,000 for charters, $600,000 for furniture and equipment transportation, another $440,000 for cars, furniture and equipment. Again, if you guys are answering questions, I would like to know those questions. And as a community member, and we can sit down very amicably. You say you want to work together. That's what we need to do because we need to get this out. Also, the policy, the discipline policy, AD, it was great to see that it looks like you're shelving restorative practices, which is not working. It's never worked, and you've never done it well in this district. So I was pleased to see that policy that you just voted on, that didn't ask any questions about it. So some of your things that you spend a lot of time and money on restorative justice is going to be thrown out some way, it looks like. So it'll be interesting to see what happens when I be talking to teachers about their restorative justice. Thank you.
Thank you, Emily. All right, our last speaker is Janice, and I don't want to miss the name, Holoka. And I have you speaking on item 6C, the warrant list?
Yes.
Okay, great. It's on you, Janice.
Okay. In regards to, I'm also speaking on agenda item 3G and item 6C, ratification of the purchase orders and warrant list. Pursuant to California Education Code, Section 35161, state law, the board may delegate its duties to the superintendent or designee, but it remains ultimately responsible for the performance of these delegated duties. Therefore, among other things, I question whether the board is fulfilling its responsibility to oversee district expenditures, particularly as this board meeting's purchase orders and the previous month's purchase orders were totaled over $42 million. And of course, these amounts do not include staff salaries, which rightly constitute the bulk of any school district's budget. And also, given that doesn't seem to be a listing of the paid warrants, I question whether the board is carefully monitoring what is being paid to whom and when. It is critical that the board exercise their fiduciary duty to scrutinize the district's financial decisions, particularly in this time of heightened fiscal challenges. For example, the November 12th board meeting included purchase orders of over $8 million just for special education certificated personnel, including over $2,900,000 for Row Health, over $2,400,000 for Maxim Healthcare Services, and over $1,700,000 for Stepping Stone Group, and plus various purchase order amounts for Club Excite, Therapy Travelers, Jabber Gym, Terry Inc., and Sound Therapies. Over $8 million seems like an extremely large amount to pay agencies to provide certificated staff for special education to supplement the district's staff. And I'm wondering why you have issues actually hiring certificate staff to fulfill these roles. Particularly as this is just on 1 month's POs, So there may have been and may be additional POs. And this amount does not include other special ed contracted services or general supplies, etc. This is particularly concerning given the results and that a large percentage of students with disabilities are not meeting the CAS standards in English language, arts, and math. So I hope you will really look at this and consider, like, how are you being successful in supporting your students with disabilities, and also the results of your English language learners are pretty low too, so with their achievement rates. So I hope you do better.
Thank you for your comments. All right, I'm moving on to the approval of the minutes. All right, moving on to item 9, public comments on non-agenda items. So at this point, it looks like we have 7 speakers. We have 7 speakers. Each of you will have 3 minutes. We have norms. I've gone through those earlier. When your name is called, you can address the board and you have your opportunity to speak. I ask that people try not to do anything disruptive so the board can actually hear the public comment. So I'll turn it over.
Okay, so the first 3 speakers will be Brad Bias, Caden Bunkhouse, and Michael Mitchell.
Good evening again. First off, I wanted to say how the greatest news presenter for OHS kind of stole my thunder. I want to say, great news. This past weekend, the girls, the cheerleader, the varsity cheerleading team won the CIF sectionals, which is awesome. First time in a long time they've done that. And also, last month they won their competition cheer team qualified for nationals in Las Vegas, Nevada, which is amazing. Super proud of them. It was awesome to see that. To that point, I would like to recommend that the board funds the out-of-state trip for the OHS cheerleaders, similar to how they did, similar to how you guys did in general consent items Z and AA. These girls are representing the school, OUSD, and Oceanside and Ridley, California. I mean, that's awesome. Really proud of them. It will truly mean a lot for the student athletes and their families. Next thing, I'm going to recommend a new board voting system. I feel like this is appropriate because we just witnessed the oath administered to the newly re-elected members, and I feel like it's kind of a fresh start, kind of off new things. So let's have a new policy. In this method, I would recommend that upon the voting topic, the president shall conduct an individual roll call so that the public can see the ayes or nays on the topic. It's your vote, and on it. Or there is online or electronic versions of the voting system, such as Google Forms, and that can display the votes on the board. And also, it's great for record-keeping purposes too. These processes are free or at little cost, and for the individual voting methods and all the other stuff, it would only take about 10 or 15 more minutes of the meeting. These meetings seem to be getting shorter and shorter, but I think that like 10 or 15 minutes to show the transparency of the voting process will matter a whole lot to the public. Other than that, that's all I've got. Thank you for the time.
Thank you, Brad.
strongly believe that establishing a lacrosse program at Oceanside High School will not only provide new athletics opportunity for students, but also bring pride recognition to our school. Thank you for considering this request, and I appreciate your time and attention. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Good evening, board members, district leadership and cabinet. My name is Michael Mitchell, and I'm here to address a critical concern regarding our curriculum instruction, specifically the lack of accessible one-on-one support for our students who are struggling in essential subjects like math, reading, and writing. As a parent and community member, I've seen how challenging it can be for our child to succeed without the foundational skills that they need. Not all students learn at the same pace, and some require additional support to truly grasp concepts like fractions, reading comprehension, or essay writing. Yet our current system doesn't seem to offer consistent, accessible one-on-one tutoring or intervention programs for those who need it the most. When a child falls behind, there isn't a safety net to help them catch up, and these learning gaps often follows them through grade levels, compounding over time. The consequence is clear. We're risking graduating students who are unprepared for college or the workforce because they lack basic math, literacy, or critical thinking skills. The concern is not hypothetical. It's happening right now. Many universities across the U.S. are reporting that incoming freshmen lack the fundamental math and the English composition skills that should have been obtained in high school. As a result, these students are being placed into remedial courses just to catch up. These remedial classes are not only costly for students and their families, but also delay their ability to begin college-level coursework, putting them at a disadvantage from the start. This is deeply troubling, not just for the students, but for our entire community. As district leadership, your role in shaping and supporting effective solutions is critical. I urge the board and cabinet to work together to address this concern head-on. I understand that resources and funding are limited, but investing in one-on-one or small group support for our students is not just a solution, but a necessity. These interventions can make a difference between a student who thrives and one who feels left behind. This isn't just about academics, but it's about equipping our students with confidence and skills that they need to succeed in life. Together, we can ensure our district lives up to its commitment to prepare all students for a successful future. Thank you for your time, and I look forward to hearing how we can work together to tackle this issue.
Thank you, Michael.
The last four speakers will be Emily Richmond, Maria Ashama, Michael Richardson, and Janice Maloka.
First of all, Eleanor, I would like to say that you're being disrespected by your peers. You're the one that's been here second to the longest, and you've only been promoted once. You're not even an officer for the last few years, so I'm really sad to see that they don't have the confidence that you should be. You should be president by now. Should have been vice president, you should be clerk. Okay, let me read something that was sent to me by a staff member. We are a few weeks away from first semester grades. The district's academic goal is to have all students with C grade or higher. Admin are meeting with teachers with a large percentage of D and F grades. This is something they tried when Bob Rowe was principal. I was on the board at that time, and I didn't know he was doing this. I wouldn't have let that happen. There is pressure on us to change grades. I had a meeting today. They talked to us about classes, but focus on only the students in alphabet who had D's and F's. The kids with D's have some attendance issues and do a bare minimum of work. They have a D grade because teachers give them 50%. That's grading for equity. That's the new F for showing up. The F students are a result of ditching, absent, and not doing work. This is not right. The admin are not holding kids accountable for attendance. Here is proof. On Friday, we had 2,445 students enrolled. In period 1, 286 absences, 169 tardies. Then we have periods 2 through 6. The average absences are 245 and there's 60 tardies. There's a large pressure on administrators to move the D to C's and F to D's because funding for credit recovery was cut in half. The funding came from assets in the past. There was enough money to run 4 to 5 sessions of credit recovery. There's only enough money to run maybe 2, maybe 3 sessions. The other issue is finding teachers to teach the credit recovery. This is from a staff member that I think you as a board should know what's happening. That the grading for equity, just like restorative practice, is not working. And this is a staff member that has these issues, and it's just not one staff member. These are classrooms, these are staff people who want to do well for the kids, but they know the kids aren't learning anything. So you wonder time and time again why you're having absences, why you're spending money on cars, on all kinds of things. So what about our kids? What about the academics? And as it was told before, Fallbrook, I went to their last meeting, and they were so thrilled for their children, their kids that are learning, their staff that are learning, the superintendent that laid out the plan that was hard, but they did it, and they're so proud. And that night they got that second award that is the honor roll award, not only for 4 schools, but for their whole district. And their kids are like our kids. They're great kids, they're good kids, and they can learn. As long as we have a leader that you need to hold accountable, that you need to be evaluating. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Good evening, school board, Dr. Vitale, everybody else up here. My name is Maria Alshama. I am one of the district social workers.
My name is David, I'm also one of the district social workers.
So we're just here to highlight our team this evening. We have a team of 4 now, which is amazing and wonderful. You all have information, the data we wanted to share with you that's from August until now. The total number of interventions we provided are 930, and that's after receiving 254 referrals for our work. Something that we do as a team are a lot of home visits, especially for those chronically absent students we keep hearing about. If we can't get a hold of them, they're not coming to school, we will go visit them in their home, try to find them, sometimes see what's going on. And that is one way that we build a lot of really strong relationships with our students and our families and engage them and encourage them to come back and let them know that we really want them back and that we are there to support them. There's a couple of families that I really want to highlight. 3 students who I had who, for a variety of reasons, have completely disengaged from coming to school. And through doing home visits and checking in with them, parents can text us and say, hey, my kid's refusing to go to school. We can show up in the moment, meet with them in their home. We have access to the DEI van that we can go and sometimes pick up students with their parents' permission to get them to school, like right then and there. So 3 of my students that I've been doing this with eventually transitioned over to Surfside, and all 3 of them kids who were completely disengaged, 100% disengaged from school, got engaged there and are successful at doing their work and completing their classes. So super successful.
Yeah, so another day that we used the DEI van to pick up students was for a day called Campus Connections at King Middle School. Natalie, the principal there, did an amazing job of planning a day all about connecting the students back to school with their counselors, with their friends, and with school clubs on campus, and with one-on-one mentoring that myself and some of the restorative practices employees helped us with. And yeah, so we picked up kids for that day. We went around and picked up kids. It was really fun. They got to see their friends in the van. It was a great day. I just personally wanted to say thank you so much for investing in the work that we do. We all as a team believe that children deserve to have their physical and emotional needs met, to be able to have equitable opportunities to learn at school and really blossom into the best version of themselves. So thank you so much.
Thank you for your comments. Mike, would you say something?
practicing the Biden model, the Biden in the basement model. Relying on unions and hiding out to do it. Neither of you are willing to face the parents and taxpayers at candidate forums or public events. You assumed that the union would get you elected. We want to put you on notice that we're not deterred. We're not going anywhere. We have been watching you for over 3 years. We have seen your election of duty. When we tried to read to you the disgusting porn in your libraries, you cried out that it was not appropriate for an adult audience here. We asked, what about the kids? You called us book burners. We tried to say we're only trying to protect the kids. When we ask about the test scores, the fact that over 70% of our kids could not do math or 59% could not read, we were called extremists. We asked, why can't you teach them? That's your only job. When we ask about the fact that the district will be short, I thought it was $16 million. Tonight I found out it's $46 million. The district will be short $46 million this year. You ignored us. When I ask you to start teaching about the Constitution and to reinstate the Constitution test that was required for 8th grade graduation for decades, you look the other way. Well, I'm here to tell you, a new day is coming. When Donald Trump takes away your funny money and forces you to get back to educating and not indoctrinating, the tide will go out and everyone will see that you've been swimming naked. And that is not a pretty sight. I wish we could sit down and talk. We just want what's best for the kids. We're not sure what you want.
Thank you, Mike. I think Janice is next.
Third Janice will be Allison Menu.
First, I would like to congratulate Trustee Evans on being re-elected to the board. Based on our past communications in your role as a County Human Relations Commissioner, I believe you joined the board with genuine intentions to serve the community. However, the board as a whole seems to be failing the community it was elected to represent. This led Emily Wichman to ask me to get involved with Oceanside Unified as she deeply cares about this community and its future. As an educational consultant dedicated to supporting and protecting the rights of marginalized students, including students of color, multilingual learners, LGBTQ+ students, and students with disabilities, I am very disappointed in the actions or inaction of this board and Superintendent Vitale. In particular, the failure to meet with community members to address their concerns directly is troubling. By contrast, other elected officials, such as Congress Representative Mike Levin, State Senator Catherine Blakespear, and Assembly Member Lori Davies, seem more responsive and concerned. Additionally, Trustee Alvarez, it was particularly disappointing that you requested to join our meeting with Senator Blakespear's office and then failed to attend. Some of the concerns include the district's failure to properly address reports of bullying on multiple school campuses and the academic failure, including the large amount of students who fail to meet the CAS standards in English, math, and science. This particularly affects socioeconomically disadvantaged students, students with disabilities, and English learners. Also, Pablo top parents have repeatedly expressed their concerns about the unsafe conditions of the school campus due to the ongoing construction. For one, it's disappointing that the district leadership has not met with the Pablo top parents to address their concerns and instead seems to be retaliating. It is also concerning that there was such a lack of forward thinking and planning, which among other things meant that students started school without access to shade and water. And even though subsequently temporary shade structures were set up, They were taken down due to them being unsafe, and the list goes on and on. Therefore, I hope that going forward, there will be improved planning and concern about student safety and well-being, including as you go through the renovations of Jefferson Middle School. This community deserves a board and a superintendent that is both responsive and transparent, and I urge you to reflect on these concerns and take meaningful action moving forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Janice. Allison?
Okay, so for the families at home, Mike had just been up here and he was addressing and then said something about the Biden method where he sits there in the basement, and Mike Blessing, of course, had to chuckle at that, which was pathetic, really. But anyway, I hear, there's been some gracious congratulations to Eleanor and Mike, and for me, not so much. Over the years, I have sat in this very same room watching as this same board continues to only always make a 5-0 vote. It's very sad and it's old. But sadly, many in our Oceanside community are still not as aware, and unfortunately, that may have something to do with no transparency in our district. For starters, you are the only district locally I know of that no longer broadcasts their school board meetings for families at home, and a school board that starts their meetings at 5, making it increasingly difficult for families to attend. But you as a board know this and continue to stay blatantly passive and negligent to the needs of our families and students. On Tuesday night, I attended a San Diego Union School District board meeting where they had one of the principals show up to give a presentation on how their high school is doing, including bringing back robotics with the help of a teacher and what they plan for the future. This I have not seen happen here in Oceanside School District. I also witnessed some school board members and newly elected school board members who all spoke after being addressed by a staff member, students, and stakeholders. It was refreshing to see a board that went one by one to acknowledge the speakers. In the words of Dr. Norman tonight, you are projecting a continued decline in enrollment, and all I can say is, I wonder why. DEI is dead. Academics is where the focus needs to be. So hopefully this time around, you guys will, work together and work with the community and acknowledge the stakeholders that do attend here and really care about the children. And myself, who has 2 children in the school district, and I see a lot of lazy faces. I'm sorry, I really do. I see a lot of the same faces. Nancy, have you gone to the Pablo talk and address, or even had any communication back with the families? I'm really curious to know. Have you gone on the site? Okay, that's good to know. I really like hearing that. So continue to do that, but hold her accountable. All of you, hold Dr. Vitale accountable. It's about damn time. Thank you.
Thank you,